life is already at peace, though resentment still dwells in the hearts of many. In me, resentment is no more. Resentment may seem to bind another, but in truth, it binds our own heart first. When anger is held within, each day feels heavy, and the mind finds no rest. Yet the moment resentment is released, life becomes astonishingly light, not clinging to past words or actions, choosing the peace of this very moment. That is true freedom. In a heart free from resentment, quiet ease naturally abides. Today, gently set down the emotions you have been holding. Where resentment is released, a calm breath and deep stillness will surely arrive. My life is already at ease. I suffer from no illness. Though all people are afflicted, there is no illness in me. Here, the illness does not refer only to the body. It points to the sickness of the mind, endless worrying and attachment, unreleased anger, and lingering fear. These are the illnesses that burden life most deeply. When the mind becomes calm, even if the body feels tired, life as a whole does not waver. A mind in which afflictions have settled no longer harms itself and receives each moment with quiet acceptance. Today, look first to the mind rather than the body. The moment you lay down your burdens, life grows lighter and more at ease. My life is already at ease. I do not worry about anything. The minds of people are filled with anxiety, but in me, worrying no longer remains. Worrying is the mind's habit of pulling the future into the present and suffering before anything has even happened. The more we cling to the past and fear what lies ahead, the more the present moment becomes clouded. But when the mind stays here and now, worrying loses its place to stand. Do what needs to be done with calm attention. Let go of what has passed and entrust what has not yet come. This is a life free from worrying. Peace does not come from the outside. It arises from the way the mind rests. Today, try setting aside what has not yet arrived. When you remain in this moment, worrying naturally fades away. My life already abides in peace, utterly pure and undefiled. I take joy itself as my nourishment, like those who dwell in the radiant heaven. The joy spoken of here is not pleasure that feeds the senses. It is the fullness that naturally arises. When the mind becomes clear and calm, when desire grows quiet, we are no longer bound by food, possessions, or gain. Life becomes light and transparent, and contentment comes before lack. The radiant heaven is a metaphor for such pure and untainted joy. Today, rather than seeking to add more, pause to see what is already enough. From a clear mind, true ease and peace quietly grow. If one wins, one earns another's resentment. If one loses, one falls into self-contempt. When the mind of winning and losing is let go, conflict fades away, and one abides in ease. Many of the world's conflicts begin with the desire to win. Arguments, comparisons, and rivalries all spring from the same root. Winning does not bring lasting peace, nor does losing destroy one's life. The more we cling to victory and defeat, the more the mind remains tense and restless. But when we take a step back and realize there is no need to win, conflict loses its hold, and quiet settles in the heart. Today, pause and recall a moment when you do not need to win. That simple letting go will make you gentler and more at ease. There is no fire fiercer than lust, no poison more deadly than anger. There is no suffering greater than the body, no joy higher than nirvana. Desire may seem sweet for a moment, but it is the fiercest flame that scorches the mind. Anger, in an instant, becomes a poison that destroys both relationships and peace within. The body itself is ever changing and bound to decline, and thus carries suffering by its very nature. So this teaching reminds us not to seek happiness outside, but to discover true ease, where the fires of craving have cooled. Nirvana is not the joy of gaining more, but the deep peace that arises when all clinging has completely ceased. Today, Try laying down a little of the desire and anger that heat your heart. In their place, a quiet and profound joy will gently remain. Hunger is the greatest disease, and this body is the greatest suffering. One who clearly understands this and seeks what is greater will finally attain great peace. The hunger spoken of here does not mean physical hunger alone. It points to endless craving, the inner emptiness that is never satisfied. This restless desire becomes the deepest illness of all. Likewise, the body is always changing and growing weary, and thus cannot be a place of lasting comfort. For this reason, the teaching urges us not to cling to small, passing pleasures, but to look toward a peace that does not fade. True ease does not come from gaining more, but from letting go of attachment. When grasping loosened, a deeper and enduring calm reveals itself. Today, try setting aside the urge to fill what feels lacking. Quietly sense the sufficiency of this very moment. There, great peace can begin to appear. Freedom from illness is the greatest blessing. Knowing contentment is the greatest wealth. Among friends, the most precious bond is trust and mutual reliance, and the highest joy of all is nirvana. Health reveals its true value only when it is lost, and even with great possessions, without contentment we always feel lacking. True wealth lies in recognizing what we already have, and the deepest human connection is trust, the ability to rely on one another. Beyond all these, the one joy that never wavers arises from peace where attachment has fallen away. This teaching quietly points to where the real worth of life resides. Today, take a moment to reflect on health, contentment, and trust. Within them, you may find that you already hold enough happiness. One who dwells alone in quiet ease, delighting peacefully in the Dharma, free from sensual desire and greed, comes to taste the nectar of the deathless. True stillness does not arise simply from being alone, but from the settling of mental afflictions. As desire and attachment fade, the mind naturally becomes clear. Within that clarity, a quiet joy arises without needing to possess anything more. The nectar of the Dharma is not something obtained from outside. It wells up on its own, from a mind released from craving. This peace does not rush in, yet it remains for a long time. Today, even for a short while, rest quietly by yourself and let go of your worries. From the depths of the mind, a gentle joy will begin to fill you. Meeting a noble person is a joy, and having a place of refuge is an even greater joy. Depart from the foolish, and to live alone while practicing what is good. This too is a joy. Who we keep company which shapes the direction of our mind. When we meet the wise, our words and actions naturally settle, and when we have a clearer refuge to rely on, life becomes less shaken by circumstances. At times, the courage to let go of unnecessary relationships brings greater freedom to the heart. When being alone is not loneliness, but a time for guarding goodness, that quiet becomes a deep and gentle joy. Today, take a moment to reflect on the connections that help clarify your mind and allow yourself to enjoy moments of solitude as well, peacefully and without burden. Keeping company with the foolish is painful, as if one were caught among enemies. Keeping company with the wise is joyful, as if one were living among dear relatives. Our relationships quietly shape the mind. When foolishness is close at hand, words and actions tend to wound, and the heart remains tense and guarded. By contrast, when we are with the wise, the mind finds ease without effort. A shared trust not to harm one another naturally takes root. This teaching is not about rejecting people, but about cherishing the connections that help the mind grow clear and gentle. Today, take a moment to reflect on who brings ease to your heart. Drawing closer to such connections is a way of bringing more light into life. Learned and virtuous, wise and well instructed, patient in the face of insult, steadfast in keeping the precepts. Honor such a noble person and keep close to them. They are like the moon shining among the stars. Wisdom does not shine through many words, but through a life that embodies it. One who remains unmoved by insult and possesses the strength to govern oneself naturally brings light to those around them. The moon does not strive to stand out, yet it gently illuminates the entire night sky. In the same way, a truly noble person becomes a quiet standard for word and deed. Simply by being present, drawing near to such a person is itself a path toward inner brightness. Today, take a moment to recall those who bring clarity and light to your heart. Honoring such connections will make your own life shine more brightly.